Hey everybody, welcome back. Welcome to episode 20 of our Hutan Pantai gameplay series. I'm the Ultra Farmer. We are here, and it is beautiful June morning, which means we got to take a trailer full of rice oil in. We're going to go sell off some rice oil today. We've got kind of a bunch of other stuff that we're going to be doing today. A little bit chores around the farm. I've kind of been cleaning up and getting prepped for a new production facility that we're probably going to have to put in at some point. We got some fields to tend, stuff to go through, something I screwed up on that I want to show you, which we'll save for later because I'm embarrassed about it, but I'm going to show you nonetheless. And I think that's it for right now. But yeah, let's get into today's episode. I'm very excited, and thanks for hanging out with me today. So let's go get some work done. Okay, so the first thing I want us to go do, geez, we got some storm damage on these fields, which I recently learned that's what that is. I thought it was crop circles from the aliens, but yeah, it's storm damage, allegedly, of course. Um, so we're gonna have some storm damage that we're gonna have to fix on these canola fields. Man, canola kind of looks nice at this growth stage, you know? It's kind of cool having canola fields. But the first thing that I want to do is take this rice oil and we're gonna go down to the farmer's market, go drop this off, and then we'll head back up to the farm and we'll kind of start doing some plotting and planning. So the reason I think we're gonna be needing, well, we're definitely gonna be needing a new production facility soon because we bought at the end of last episode. If you didn't see last episode, we bought another field, another plot of land rather. And what I did is I created two rice fields up there. Give me one sec here. I'll make sure I do this the best way, which I think is this way now. It's kind of weird going downtown Hutan Pantai to sell off the stuff. And it's not trailer friendly. It's better to just go the wrong way on a one-way street. But I had to create two fields, and I'll kind of explain that. It's like kind of hard to explain, to be honest. It's like the game wouldn't let me do just one field. I don't know why. I don't know how. Gotta let this lady cross the road here before we pull in. It wouldn't let me do one big field, which is kind of fine. It doesn't really matter to me, but I'll show you. I'll show you what I mean. Is this gonna? Look at this guy standing there looking at me. Look, bro, you're telling me, like, see, like, it doesn't. Oh, God. We're gonna have to spin around. But I know that I can spin around out here. Yeah, the game wouldn't let me do one big field. It was like something where I even tried to mess with the landscaping a little bit, but the rock just like, there was like this big jaw rock on the side of the cliff, and it would not, for some reason, let me do one big rice field. So I had to do two, which once we get back to the farm, I'll show you. So I got two big rice fields up there. And then what I did is I went ahead and I got all of our rice fields planted. So in kind of like our OG rice fields that we started with, I kept those with like the short grain rice or just rice. And then in the new fields and stuff, I did long grain rice. Yeah, I'm gonna have to probably run over some people here. Sorry, folks. Yeah, sorry. Okay, there we go. There we go. There we go. Sorry, folks. My bad. But yeah, so I'll go back once I get back up to the farm. I'll kind of show you the different fields that we made and all that stuff, and then I'll go show you. Oh, I might as well just tell you right now, I screwed up. So the canola fields that we have down, the ones that we just drove by that had a little bit of storm damage on it and stuff. When I planted those, I went through and I like did all the normal fertilizing and like checked on weeds and all that stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, the canola fields are good to go. And I like kind of forgot about the field that's like on the very south side of our farm, which is full of weeds, and I only ended up putting one stage of fertilizer on it, and it's like too late to fix it now. I can't drive across it. I'll destroy all the crops because crop destruction's on, and so there's just like massive weeds growing in there. We'll just go right there right now, and I'll go show you. And we'll get like a pretty bad yield. I mean, we'll get 70% on it, whatever. I'm not that worried about it, but still, just like what a fumble. What a fumble indeed. I don't know, I got going on the rice fields and I was like slept through a couple months, like getting all the stuff prepped for this episode, and then Yeah, I like looked back there and it was just full of weeds, and I was like, oh my God, like what a rookie. Okay, so let's talk about this field right here. So to the left of us here, this field is long grain rice. I'm actually gonna hop out. Let's make sure. Okay, yeah, that pump is going. I gotta make sure these fields stay flooded through these first few growth sections, or grow through growth stages. And then this field right here, I also did long grain rice. Don't know why a few of these little spots didn't plant. I can see the pump there is going. And then this other field, parked by kind of our gray ACGO tractor, that's also long grain. Let's. I'm just gonna go dock this trailer off, and then we'll keep cruising around, and I'll show you. I'll go into flight mode or just like build mode, and I'll show you the other fields here. Yeah, I'll do that right now. I'll dock this trailer off. Let's leave him right there. Okay. So yeah. So this is long grain rice. This is going to be like our normal short grain or just rice. And then these are the two new fields that I built. Don't know why this looks so patchy. I really don't get that. Really don't get that. And it's filling with water. Unless they just consider that storm damage. I don't know. Anyways, these are the two new fields. For some reason, it wouldn't let me do just like one big field. It was like this rock right here. And not even this rock, it's like underneath in the map, the way it's built. I don't know. But yeah, we got these two big rice fields here, and then this doesn't look as bad right now. But yeah, there's a bunch of weeds and stuff growing in there. Not going to be our finest canola. Not going to be our finest canola field. That's for sure. Okay. That's for sure. So let's jump out of this. Let's just go back in because I was chin wagging and I didn't even really watch. Let's go to our finances. Okay, we got 97, almost 98,000 for all that oil. Not too bad. While we're right here, I'm just going to jump out and show you. So this thing's been going for like almost a year. We still got 22,000 liters of canola in here that it's working its way through. So that's where I'm thinking we're definitely going to need another production facility. And yeah, but it's basically it. We're going to need another production facility because we're going to start to bottleneck with all of our canola, which is fine. And then now that we're putting in more rice and stuff, I'm not really sure how it's all going to go down. I don't really know how good long grain rice is going to be, but since we're rice farming, I figured we'd try it for one harvest. And yeah, we'd just go from there. So uh, the other thing that I want to do is I've just kind of been moving some of the implements and stuff around. I'm going to get rid of this. Yeah, I'm just gonna sell. We get 780 bucks for it. Right on. I might cut down this tree, but I'm gonna be planning to try and put in another production facility like somewhere here that just works fine, and we'll just keep stacking implements around. It doesn't really matter. I'm not gonna put any more sheds or anything down. And yeah, that's gonna be kind of the plan. The other part of everything is what I'm gonna kind of be doing over the next little bit is I'm gonna kind of go a little bit quicker through this series. Now that we're on episode 20, which is crazy. Uh, in my mind, I always just had that this series would be around 30 to 40 episodes, just depending on how everything flowed. So I'm going to be kind of going a little bit quicker through these next 10 episodes, just getting through the harvests a little bit quicker and selling off some products, really seeing how the production facilities are going to go. I'm not going to bring you guys have seen me plant rice a million times, and it's we don't need to time lapse planting canola fields. So I'm going to just kind of be doing a bit of more of that stuff off camera and just kind of going a little bit quicker through the series just to get us through at least half years and maybe full years in some of the episodes. And yeah, that's my plan. Okay. I'm just going to tidy up a few things with the tractors, and then we'll get back to kind of doing the farm and setting down production facilities and kind of moving ahead throughout the year a little bit. All right, I'm just pulling over to our canola field here. So I slept through into July, and now we're harvesting canola. And I figured the first field that we would do is get this field out of the way because it's embarrassing. So I just want to get it harvested, put it in the past. We'll just forget about it. We won't bring it up next year. We won't bring it up at Thanksgiving. We won't bring it up at Christmas dinner when we're having a nice time. It'll just be something that didn't happen. And what else did I do? Oh, one thing I wanted to tell you is I actually ended up buying this tractor that we're in. It had come through on the stores. So this tractor's got 44 hours on it, as you can see down in the bottom there, bottom right hand corner. It came through in the stores and it was like 32% off or something. I can't remember exactly, but it was 60 grand. It was 60 grand to buy this tractor, which 60 grand for a 230 horse tractor with a front PTO is pretty pretty darn good, to be honest. And it was like 2 grand a month to rent this thing, so I figured we might as well buy it. Like, um, yeah, that was one thing that kind of just happened as I was going through. There's nothing really good in the stores right now. In a different series, this would be pretty awesome if we could afford it, but not this series. We're not cutting and baling any hay or grass, that's for sure. Same with this. This Forge Wagon's pretty not too bad. But yeah, I'm just going through now and I'm going to start harvesting the canola. We got a whole bunch of canola that needs to be harvested. Obviously, there's this field and then everything out here. I still don't want to buy this field because I think it's a waste of money. It's so small for what you get. It just seems like a waste. If anything, if we buy any other field, it'll be this one right here. But yeah, we got to do. We've got a bunch of storm damage in here that we'll have to fix with subsoiler. That's not that big a deal. I might buy a new plow potentially. We're gonna have to plow these fields. I didn't notice it when I put them down. I thought once you put down a new field, again, I was kind of just going and didn't really check. I'm like, oh, they won't need to be plowed. It's a brand new field, right? Brand new field, brand new plow. Yeah, well, it did. So what else did I do here? Oh, okay, so I put down a new production facility. I've got this new production facility here that this will be able to take in a bunch more of the canola. And what I think I'm going to do just to keep it separate is I think what I might do is put all the long grain rice in this unit and just keep the other normal rice for this one just to keep it separate. I think that's what we'll do for right now and we'll just see how it goes. But yeah, got this production facility set down. I got to go in and turn everything on and all that stuff, like get the cycles and stuff going. But yeah, I'm just gonna kind of plug away here and get this field and stuff done. I'll get this one done and kind of out of the way, and then my plan was is we'll kind of just work those other fields together. I'll probably do a decent little time lapse of us kind of going through and doing the harvest and pulling stuff up to the production facilities. I'm actually gonna spin around. Am I gonna spin around here? We'll just back onto the farmer's field or the neighbor's field here. They won't mind. Jeez. Austin Powers my way to there. It's funny how that just became a thing. Hey, like everyone knows when you're like going forward and reversing out of a weird spot. That's just known as Austin Powersing out of it. Just gonna get a little bit of a grain dump here. I think we'll keep and we'll put all of this grain into the new production facility as well, this canola, because the other one's got some canola in it that it's working through. Again, I don't know how it's all going to go down just yet because I don't know how much cycles each unit's going to go through each month. It's just going to be a little bit of trial and error. I know I can calculate it, but I sometimes the only thing I don't really understand with production facilities, and maybe someone, if you in the comment section know, the one question I've always had is like, okay, if I'm in a production facility, right? Let's go into this oil mill. It says it does 480 cycles per month. Is that per each of these? Like, what I mean is like it'll do 480 cycles of the canola if that's going, and it'll do 480 cycles of this. Um, or is it like a combined total? Like it'll do like, 240 of this one and 240 of the other for a combined total of 480 cycles per month? Or is it on this does 480 no matter what? No matter what? Because I don't know, it just doesn't seem like I'm going through enough of this. You know what I mean? Like 20 canola. If it's 20 canola and it's doing that 480 times, that's 9,600 liters, right? Where's my calculator? 480 times 20, 9,600. Okay. Because math, but it doesn't seem like I'm going through 9,600 liters of canola each month. It just doesn't seem like that's actually what's getting burnt out of this thing. Because then that tells me that's 96,000 liters, right? Well, is that per year? Because if it's 9,600 a month, 10 months, it would be 96,000. So I'm missing, I'm missing what, 18,400? No, 19,200 liters. You know what I mean? Like the math just isn't mathing for me. Or maybe I got my abacus upside down and I'm missing something somewhere. So that would be super helpful if anyone knows. Would greatly appreciate that intel. But yeah, I'm gonna get this field done, and then I'll bring you guys back, and we'll kind of work on those on the fields, kind of on the north side of the farm, and we'll get those all cleaned off. While I got someone kind of chasing us, because we got to disc this field really good, and make sure all the weeds are off it. Okay, so I got our harvester out on the front canola field, out on the north canola field, kind of the one that's the furthest from the house. Man, look at that wheat field though beside us. Jeez, just a massive wheat field. I went to a wedding last year. A good buddy of mine got married, and where they did it, like where we grew up, it's like a lot of farm country, and it's like farm and oil patch. That's where I grew up. And they picked this place where they got married, which was kind of like on a riverbank. It was really, really nice actually, because it was like they kind of got married on like the edge of like a cliff. It was almost like pretty cool. It was definitely a really cool place. But like where they had this reception, right? Reception, yeah, not the ceremony, the reception, like where you eat and stuff. They had like these big tents, like massive, like I don't want to say tent, but like almost kind of like was a tent. Like I think you could imagine it's got like that big heavy duty piping is like the frame, and then like that thick white canvas over it. But it's like fancy tents, if that makes sense, like a fancy circus tent. But they had like the main head table, and then behind them was a massive wheat field, and then on the other so like what they would have been facing is like beautiful trees, and on the other side of that trees was like this big river that goes through. Yeah, it's a super cool place. But when we were sitting there eating, and I was like, people are doing speeches and all that stuff, I was just staring out at that massive wheat field, and I was like, man, pretty cool, pretty cool. Yeah, definitely a cool site. I'll probably never get married because I play too much farm sim, but if I do, maybe I'll do it on a wheat field. But okay, first off, let's go dump this canola. We'll get this dumped out into this all-in-one production facility, and then we're just gonna go back, and I think we'll do a little bit of a time lapse here of me just kind of like working through those north fields. I'll probably jump around a little bit back and forth between the harvester and kind of this tractor and trailer setup that we got just to clear those fields off. Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll go back out there. I'll be on the north sides here. We'll try and get most of those fields cleared off, although it is going to start getting dark soon, like by the time I get all this done and keep jumping around. So we might be harvesting a little into the night here, no big deal. But yeah, we'll go jump around. We'll get a bunch of these fields cleared off, and yeah, bring you guys back in a little bit. Enjoy. Right, yeah, just like what we thought. It was a bit of a late night here getting this harvest done, but we got her done. We got her done. I'm just pulling up here. Oh, he shut down that piece of equipment. Trying to get up to the AI worker here to get this last little bit of grain or last bit of canola dumped into the trailer here. Then we'll head up to the production facility. So I'm gonna jump over here, turn this thing back on. I wish they wouldn't shut down the equipment when they're done using it. I wish it would just stay run. I guess maybe I always have. Maybe that's a setting I can fix. I'm not too sure. Not going to worry about it too much right now. So let's go in and let's look at kind of what we got for this harvest. So I'm just going to go up canola. That's the canola oil. Never mind. Let's keep going. Keep going. No whammies. Stop. Okay, so in the all-in-one production, I dumped, yeah, 50,000 liters. Now we still got this trailer full that I got to dump into the production facility, but I'm probably going to dump it into the other production facility, dump it into the oil mill because let's just go back in here and check oil mill. Yeah, so this is kind of like a little bit from last harvest, so I kind of want to have somewhat of an even amount in each of them, if that makes sense. So then hopefully they'll, I don't want one to have a bunch left in it. Hopefully they'll all within a year just work through all that canola and we'll have a pile of oil. Come on, tractor. Come on. Come on. Whew. He's working real hard on that one. Working real hard. But not too bad. Not too bad at all. We'll dump this in the production facility. You know what, like every time I drive by here though, like we probably could get rid of those silos. I don't use them at all. We don't dump anything in there. I should honestly just double check and make sure there's nothing sitting in those. Okay, yeah, we're gonna go right into the oil mill over here, the OG oil mill. Dump this in, and then we'll kind of just plan out what's going to be happening over the next little bit. One thing that definitely needs to happen is I got our subsoilers, I sold them, and I picked up a different set of plows. So let's jump over to this tractor. Okay, I got to disconnect. Just fire it up. Yeah, we'll disconnect that. And I picked us up a different set of plows, which we're just going to run up to the store and grab right now. They're sitting there waiting for us. It's a really good set of plows. This is actually a mod that it was like one of the very first mods I ever got, even back in the day in FS22. It's like the best set of plows you can get, in my opinion, of course, just in my opinion. But they're really good, just awesome, good little set of plows. And they used to just come in 6 and 9 meter, different widths, working widths, and now you can actually get them in 12 meters, which I didn't get the 12-meter set because it's just a little we just don't. I don't need 12-meter set, and I think you need like a 300 horse tractor plus to pull the 12-meter ones, which we don't have. So blah blah blah. Long story long. Good little set of plows. I figured we'd grab. It'll just help clear off some of those dead spots, and then I think I have to plow. I have to plow those rice fields, so this will just make a little bit shorter work of it. Yada yada yada. But basically what's going to be happening now, I'm going to grab these plows, head back up to the farm. I'm going to get some sleep because it was a long day of harvesting. And yeah, look at these bad boys. Pretty skookum. Yep, I'm going to head back up to the farm, kind of just park everything, get some sleep. I'll bring you guys back, and it'll probably be September is what I'm thinking the plan's going to be. And then that way we'll be just working on harvesting the rice fields and kind of just keep plugging along, dump a bunch of stuff into the production facility, and just keeping on, keeping on. Life's a garden. You dig it. Make it work. Okay. Yeah, I'll head back up to the farm, and yeah, I'll see you guys back in September. All right, I'm just back here. Welcome back. Welcome to September. We are now, we kind of skipped through a little bit. I did a few things. I'll go through kind of the fields that I went through. I went through and I harvested our just normal rice. I'm just working on our long grain rice now, and I got the first field kind of in front of the house out there done. I'm just working on this one now. This is kind of just like a small weird shaped one, so I figured I would do it by hand and just kind of chat with you on like what went down over the last few months. So I went through. Obviously, we finished off our canola harvest. I skipped through into August. That's when I harvested our like short grain rice, if you will. I don't even know if that's really what it is. We'll just call it that to keep everything separate. And then what I did is I went through, and it was like a lot. It took a bit of time. But I went through and I like prepped all the fields. Why is this? Oh, it's full. Duh. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? Okay. Jeez, I don't know why I was just like, just jammed out there. Anyways, I went through and I prepped all the fields. So I disked all the fields. As you can see, these rice fields right beside us here. I went through and I plowed them because they needed plowing. I went through and I like fertilized everything. I did the weeds on everything. Everything should be good to go. I like went and checked each field, and then I even like went on the map, checked a bunch of stuff, so that there should be no fields. All the canola fields are planted, good to go, ready to rock. They're double fertilized. They are. I did the weeds. I rolled them. Everything should be go. And I even went through and I fixed a bunch of the storm damage that was on some of the fields, kind of on the north side of the farm. And yeah, they're doing really good. They're doing really good. I'm gonna just kind of keep going, plucking away at a few of these fields. I gotta remember that we got 3,000 liters off this field behind us. That's what we got with like the short grain rice. Um, got 3,000 liters off that, so I'm curious to see what I'm gonna get um, with long grain rice. Not 100% sure. And oh, I gotta get a tractor and move this trailer. So I put all of the. Let's fire this guy up. Put this trailer in the way. I should have known better. I put all the like normal rice, the short grain rice, in the original production facility, and I'm gonna keep everything separate. I'm gonna put all the long grain rice into this production facility. Maybe I'll just leave this trailer right here. I guess I could, I guess I could use that trailer, but it's kind of nice just having this truck to bomb around. And what I gotta do right now before I forget, let's go that, let's go like that. Okay, we got canola oil is going. Long grain rice flour, we don't want that. Long grain rice, activate. And we'll keep it on storing. Okay, that should be good to go. All right, yeah, I'm gonna keep plugging away here. I will keep, I'll kind of keep just bringing you back a little bit as this progresses. Um, we'll see how much we get off that one field. I'll get this one done quick, and then we'll see how much we get off that other field. And yeah, just keep plugging away with harvest here. I gotta set my other tractor. Once I get this field done, I'm gonna get my other tractor going and cultivating these fields. And we'll probably finish off this episode probably doing like a little bit of doing the fertilizing and stuff like that, and kind of getting everything prepped out. But yeah, I'm pretty excited to see how much we're gonna get off that one field to really see. I want to keep doing the long grain rice along with the like the normal rice, just to keep it switched up. But it's also kind of nice for harvest because those little harvesters, while they are like it's great, but they're so slow and they're so tiny. I even leased another one for the last harvest just to kind of to get through it a little bit quicker. Just because it's such a pain to do it. It's so slow just to drive them around. I really got to keep them close to the farm because even to drive it to the far field on the cliff over there was like such a chore. But yeah, I'll just kind of keep plugging away here, and yeah, I'll keep you up to speed on how this harvest is going. Okay, we are back. We got this field finished, and we've just got just over 4,000 liters off this field, which, yes, it was more than the 3,000, which is great, but it's not, it's still not going to be like as good in production as as the other kind of just normal rice would be. Just because, let me go into this. So if I go into like my oil mill, right? So my canola, it takes 20 canola to produce 10 canola oil. If I come down to my rice, it's 12 rice and I get 12 or 10 rice oil for normal rice. So for this rice oil, it's 25 and then I only get 10, right? So really to make the juice worth the squeeze, I should be trying to get like like if I got 3,000 liters of normal rice off that field, I would want him to be getting like 7,500 uh, of long grain to make it kind of comparable, right? If that makes sense. Makes sense. Maybe we should get some fuel in this thing while we're sitting right here. Give her the old, how you doing? Okay, let's back up here. Just burning through fuel. Between harvest and then field prep, like geez, we went through fuel. Okay, so this field looks like it's done being disked. I fertilized that small field that I was working on when I first brought you back into this harvest. I'm just gonna park this thing right by our header trailer. This header trailer hasn't moved since the start of the series. Let's set that down. Park this thing. Now, I usually gotta go. I usually give her one drag just around the outside because it just never seems to get all the edges, and then weeds grow, you know. This is actually like part of the old field there. I probably should have fixed, but I just never did because it didn't really seem to bother nothing. Yeah, canola fields are dialed in. They are dialed in. They should be good to go. Unless some sort of weed grows after, like after we sleep through into November or something like that, but it really shouldn't. It's just hard on the discs, aren't we? Let's just fold these up for a sec. I still got those other smaller cultivators, which like they work really good. I just it's so much faster with these ones, but they're kind of hard to deal with on a field like this. But yeah, we're just cruising now. So I think I'm trying to figure out exactly what we're going to be doing for next episode. Like, I know we got lots of stuff that we got to do. I really don't want to be focusing too much on contracts for kind of the rest of this series, to be honest. It just, it's not really going to be worth our time to go and, like, I don't know, just to make the extra, like, 5 or 8 grand or something like that. It just seems better spent if I'm just at this farm working, kind of getting our own chores done and stuff. I can really get that small little spot there. Only spot that's tricky is right by the pump. So since I'm not going to be doing too much more contracts, I just want to focus on like getting the harvests done. Oh, this is going to hook up. Oh my god, I cannot believe we just made that turn and got that whole little section there done. Unbelievable. Yeah, for the rest of the series, I'm going to just be focusing on getting harvests done on our farm and getting stuff into the production facility and then getting our oil and stuff sold. That's what's really going to be my main focus on everything is just our farm. I think probably what I'll do is I'm gonna switch the fields that I did the long grain rice in, and I'll just do normal rice in these smaller fields. And I think the two new fields that I did, you know, but even as I say it, I really want us to make as much cash as we can. So I think I might just tough through this next one and not do long grain rice. Just do short or normal rather on all these fields. Yeah, yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do, and I'll just lease another harvester when it comes time, and then that way we'll just get a whole flush because the rice oil will make us quite a bit of money. I don't think even I don't think, but you know me, I don't think I'm gonna buy any more canola fields. I think now that we got two production facilities going, we should be able to basically facilitate all the canola that we need, and I'm kind of thinking this series is going to be done around episode 30 is kind of my goal. I don't really want it to go much longer than that because it'll just get too repetitive. We're just doing the same thing over and over again. And I've got some really good ideas for the next series that we're going to do. I got a really fun idea planned where what I'm calling like the lottery. It's going to be like a lottery gameplay series, and basically what I mean by that is I'm gonna take, if you've heard this before, forgive me, but if you're new here and you don't really know what the kind of plan is, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put all kind of the factors or all the different variables that we can create a farm with in this game. I'm gonna put it into like a random wheel generator, and it's gonna basically dictate the type of farm that we have. Now, like, it's not gonna be every setting, but just like a first, like kind of like a little thing of it'll be like, I'm gonna decide that we're gonna do two crops, and I'm gonna spin the wheel of like all the crops that are in this game, whether it's carrots or cotton or sorghum, whatever, and the wheel's gonna dictate what two crops that we're gonna have to farm on that next series, and then I'm gonna spin the wheel and determine what I'm gonna say. We're probably gonna have to do one set of animals in the series, and it's the wheel's gonna dictate what animals we have to raise and kind of all that stuff. Now, and there's gonna be like little things that kind of have to change or be amended with it. Like, for example, say we get the spin of the wheel, and like, yeah, I gotta do soybeans and I don't know, and potatoes. Okay, but then we also get cows as a spin on the wheel. Well, I would have to do some grass as well, right? Like, so that we could cut and bale hay to feed the cows. So there'll be like little kind of little things that change, with that. It won't just be as simple as spin the wheel and go. We might have to make little amendments and stuff, but it's going to dictate it's going to dictate the economic difficulty. I'm going to put a whole bunch of different maps into the game, into the wheel, and it's going to tell us like what map we're going to be playing on and how much starting money and stuff we're going to have. I think that's how I'm going to do it, how much starting money we're going to have. It's also going to dictate like what our end goal is going to be, like when the series will be done, when you create 10 million bucks or 50 million bucks or something. I don't know. We can kind of go through if you got any ideas of like what you would want to see in the wheel, or you think is like a good idea to throw in as like part of a challenge. I was even going to put in if I'm allowed to do contracts. Am I allowed to do contracts in the challenge? And the wheel would spin and say like yes or no, and that could determine just a lot of the gameplay. And I think it'll be a pretty fun little series, something kind of different, a different kind of challenge going forward. But yeah, I'm just gonna go through and get a fertilizer state on all these fields. So I think that's pretty simply gonna do it for this episode, for episode 20. So thank you guys so much for sticking with me. Thank you for checking out the season, or this series rather, and this kind of season of harvest that we went through. I'm excited for this series to be making its way kind of through its last 10 episodes and getting to the end of it. So we can kind of start a new series. But I'm also really excited on how this farm has kind of come together, and just the way we've set it up and all this stuff. It's been kind of a fun series, so I'm excited for the next kind of 10 episodes to wrap this one up. And yeah, I hope you guys stick with me through those. If you haven't done so already, really appreciate it if you could hit that like, hit that sub button for me, all that, all that normal stuff. It'd be great. Hit the bell notification too, so you can see right when these episodes come out. I try to post an episode every single day, whether it's from this gameplay series or our Tassie Farms gameplay series, or maybe some of the other series that I might have going. I usually like to only have about 2 to 3 going at a time. It just kind of gets difficult to manage, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, usually like to only do about 2, maybe 3 at a time. But, and if you want to check out that Tassie Farms series, that's one I got going on right now, where we're building a dairy empire on a really fun map, one of the funnest maps I've played on in FS25 so far. I just really like it. It's kind of small and simple, kind of like a quiet map, not really, yeah, not really too crazy, which I kind of like. But yeah, thanks again so much for watching. I appreciate it like always. Hopefully you have a good afternoon, morning, evening, whenever you're watching this. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks a bunch.